adopted mediation and JDR for only 5 years. And I think with more training of mediators, with more training of judges, we can improve the efficiency rate. The objective, I think, is to make sure that only 10% of cases filed go to trial. And I think it's doable. We have introduced mediation and judicial dispute resolution in 80% of our courts, and we are expanding that to 100%. So we will be able to filter cases filed and allow only the trial of about 10%. Now, in the trial of 10%, we have adopted the small claims court, where there's only a one-day hearing, and at the end of the day, the judge will issue the decision. No lawyers are allowed, and it's very inexpensive part on the part of litigants. Now, aside from that, for purposes of we have to simplify the pre-trial procedure, the trial procedure in courts right now. It's so cumbersome and so antiquated. So we have experimented with simplified trial procedure in the revised rules on summary procedure, the interim rules on intracorporate remedies, the rules on environmental cases, and the rules on intellectual property rights, where in lieu of direct testimony, you have judicial affidavits. And if you have that, you cut down trial time by 1/2 immediately. And we have prohibited dilatory tactics like motion to dismiss, motion for a bill of particulars, motions to postpone, petitions for certiorari, prohibition of mandamus against interlocutory orders. These have been prohibited in these simplified rules, and the practitioners and the public have accepted that. It's about time that we expand this to all the civil cases. If we expand this to all the civil cases, then we cut down trial time by at least 50% in all civil cases. Now, I'm also suggesting that the party should be required to submit memoranda of facts and law before the case is submitted for resolution, because this helps. Even here in the Supreme Court, the memoranda of the parties help us a lot in deciding cases. And when I was Chief Presidential Legal Counsel, I introduced the procedure in administrative cases that one, direct testimony shall be by affidavit, and two, that the party shall submit draft decisions. And this is how we were able to clear the 20-year backlog in the Office of the President. So I think the party should be allowed to submit memoranda of facts and law, and the judges should be allowed to adopt this in whole or in part, so that we can fast-track the period of time to decide cases from the time they are submitted for resolution.
Yeah, I'm satisfied with that answer, Chief. So justice delayed is justice denied. That's the most important. Second to the last question. Kagabi, tinitingnan ko rin po yung voting records nyo eh. Kagabi, tinitingnan ko at like say yung mga important cases, yung Pea Amari, yung dineclare unconstitutional. Ang alam ko naman sa Pea Amari, di ba, parang time ata ni President Ramos yun eh, yung contract. But despite serving with, as Chief Legal Counsel ata po, no, ng former President, you decided against that contract. Yung MOA AD, declared unconstitutional, doon din po kayo. Yung RP-US Visiting Forces Agreement, you dissented. Yung NERI versus ES, you went, yung gusto nyo po, even yung basic rights, yung rights ng information, ay yun ang gusto nyo. So parang, tinitingnan ko po parang personally, parang sabi ko, sakasakali we're in good hands, di ba? Pero nung impeachment, ang nangyari, whether you like it or not po, parang nag-benefit rin ho kayo di ba? Sa impeachment. Without you, knowing it. Dahil personally, kayo po yung naging acting Chief Justice ngayon. And there's also a possibility, because of your record, because of your integrity, competence, that you will be appointed Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. There's a possibility. It depends on the President. Prerogative ng Presidente yan eh. So, ito po yung considering po ito yung mga factors na to. How would you assure the nation na you would still continue to be as independent-minded as you are?
Well, I can assure everybody that I will continue to be independent. For the last 11 years that I've been in this court, I have maintained a consistent judicial philosophy. And regardless of the political consequences, I mean, if I wanted to be Chief Justice then, I could have voted for the Chacha. I mean, but what?
Yeah, I forgot that. Chacha is also one of the
because that was
one
a
of the
turning,
cases. Yes.
that was a turning point in our history. I mean, we could have become a parliamentary government, and somebody would have stayed there for a longer term. But why would I do that for myself? I'm not looking at this for myself. I have so much respect in the Constitution, and if the Constitution has to be amended, it has to be amended in accordance with the Constitution. I was in law school during martial law, and when the Constitution was amended outside of the process provided in the Constitution, I questioned whether I should still be a lawyer. But I persevered. And so I have that desire to see to it that this will not happen again. That's why I also oppose the Chacha of former President Ramos, because I think the Constitution should not be just amended for the sake of one person. It should be enduring. And you can be assured that I will maintain that philosophy because I have so much respect for the Constitution.
Last question, Mr. Chairman. This is the last question. Nung kasagsagan po ng impeachment, I observed, dahil doon po kahit sa Iloilo, for example, may mga nagsasabi doon, no, na may mga galing dito na instructions na magsuot ng pula, diba? Yung mga court personnel, kahit yung mga court employees, tapos parang mag-rally, diba? Yun ang nangyari. Nakita po natin na hindi naman lahat, diba? Hindi naman lahat, may paninindigan naman yung karamihan, pero maraming ganon. Ang kahuliang tanong ko lang po sa inyo na, para sa akin importante, no? I hope this will never happen again, no? We don't want to do this again. Pero kung kayo po si CJ Corona, kung kayo po siya, ilagay niyo yung sarili niyo sa kanya at that time, ano po sana yung ginawa niyo?
Well, the other day I was asked if I would want to see the employees wear a certain color for today to show their support for me. I said, no, please don't.
Yung mas importanteng tanong ko po, aside dun sa color, kung kayo po si CJ Corona, and alam naman natin kung ano yung nangyayari, di ba? What have you, ano po sana yung ginawa nyo?
Well, I think if you are subject to impeachment, you just have to proceed with it in a very dignified way. Because there is a process that will have to be followed under the Constitution. And let that process continue in a dignified way. That's the way I look at it.
So, ibig sabihin, kung kayo po si CJ Corona, tama, nagpatuloy pa kayo, hindi kayo nag-resign? Kung kayo yung sa kanya, kung ikaw...
Well, I wouldn't know what exactly was on his mind. I wouldn't
No.
exactly.
Chief, assuming lahat, given kasi lahat given yung variables, yung factors given, alam na natin Diba? Looking back, alam natin ngayon ang nangyayari. Exactly, day one na ginawa namin yun. Alam na natin sa ngayon. Looking back, kung kayo po yun, that's my question. Gusto ko lang, kailangan ba nating daanan yun or may konting sacrifice?
Well, if...
Resign or... my question is just simple. Magre-resign po ba kayo to save the nation na nangyari or tuloy?
Well, if I misdeclared my son to that extent, then I would resign right away.
Thank you. Thank you. Good luck, Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Attorney Cayosa, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Chief.
Morning.
I called my questions from your speech before the IBP Central Luzon Regional Convention, where you outlined your proposals for judicial reform. And one particular section of your speech struck me because I was an accredited mediator prior to my appointment to the JBC. And you actually confirmed that mediation and judicial dispute resolution are huge successes in the battle to decongest the dockets of trial courts. In fact, you cited earlier that about 78% of the cases referred to mediation